Gender, to me, is mostly just confusing, honestly. It's just fitting people, a large variety of people into small boxes, and which causes a lot of confusion for people, especially like for me.
I thought gender was intrinsically tied to like your sex, but I think as I've explored myself more and as I've kind of experienced the world more, I've realized that it's really just like a societal thing. It's totally like societally constructed, and it's not necessarily tied to your anatomy at all.
I guess it means kind of like what you feel your sexual, like your, I guess, biological sex is. That's what it means to me. So.
No, gender is kind of like I feel like it's a constraint, honestly, for me. Because people don't, it can be like freeing. Most people don't see it as fluid. So it's like black and white. In the ideal world, if it were treated as fluid, I'd just be okay with it.
When I think of gender, I think of it as something that's like really rigid force that's put like on society. Like it's a burden that we all kind of have to carry. Like we have to deal with this like really strict view of like what's masculine and what's feminine.
And like every time like there'd be like someone would say like, oh, all men do this and all girls do that, I'd always like kind of fit in the all girls thing, which is like, but I never really identified as a girl, and like I still don't. Like my gender identity has changed, but I still don't identify as a woman entirely.
I mean, I definitely identify as a woman. Like that's just like what I feel like. I'm not really sure what that means per se, but like I just kind of, I don't know, it's just like I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm a woman, like I just feel like that.
I guess gender was something that was brought into question when I fell in love with a woman, and so for me it was, wait, do I love women? Do I love men?
I think I identify as she, her, hers, for the most part.
I'm a boy. I've always thought myself as a boy. So, but not everyone has it so easy. So, it wasn't as an important factor in my life than my sexuality.
It's confusing and scary to me, but it's also empowering in some ways too. Like when I wear a skirt or rock a lipstick, or usually both at the same time, like I feel like I look in the mirror and I just like, I'm like looking cute, bruh.
For me, I mean, I feel like the acronym is kind of really beautiful, especially the LGBTQIAA.
Well, it's very long.
I think it's too long, personally.
I mean, it's a long acronym, but I think it's necessary to be long so that people feel like included, so that everyone's kind of accounted for.
I think it's a good thing that they try to cover all these different identities. But there's a point where I think maybe there's a better term.
I wish that there didn't have to be an acronym, like that it wasn't something scandalous or, abnormal, so to speak, because I don't think it's abnormal. I think it's just different from everybody else.
So I put myself in there, and I'd like to advocate, for my people, but of course I advocate for different things.
I'm not exactly sure where I fit into the acronym. I don't know if I'm a lesbian or if I'm bisexual. I haven't really determined that yet.
Somebody told me to think of sexuality in like percentages. So I guess I'd be like maybe 20% straight at most. 80% other, not straight.
The gay letter. So G. I am G.
I never kind of fit in with certain stereotypes, and I do fit in some. Like I like violent cartoons and I like violent video games and stuff, which I guess are typically like masculine things. So that made me kind of like think about it a little bit, but still identified as male. And then I did like some like cross-dressing a little bit like for fun and like school and stuff. And so I was like, oh, that was fun, but like not part of my identity. But then just like it was just slowly became something that like kept poking its like head out in my head. Or like I'd go to like Target and like I'd go or like walk through like the woman's clothing aisle and be like, yo, I would look fucking good in that, and that would and that like and I was like, fuck, like that's really scary. So I'm just like not gonna think about that because like there's a lot of terrible things that happen to people who don't like identify with the gender they're assigned at birth. So like I'm just gonna like pretend I never had that thought and just gonna push it to the side.
I started slowly falling in love with my ex-girlfriend, and I started, like, I remember the first time I couldn't stop thinking about her, and I was like, oh, this is weird. You know, so I think it was a really excruciatingly painful process in the sense of, I guess because I grew up in a fundamentally Christian environment, I think of reevaluating faith and who I was as a person. And so, I mean, I think it probably took several months.
I was best friends with this boy, and we were like close friends for a while, but then he ended up coming out to me, like, I guess accident, I don't know how it happened, but he came out to me kind of vaguely, which I didn't recognize, and because of that though, he got scared I was going to tell other people that he might be gay or something, so he outed me. But I never came out to him, so he just kind of spread rumors, but the rumors obviously were true.
I would say like I really came to terms with it when I was like around 17. I like had my first relationship with a woman, and like I was just able to understand myself a lot more and realize this is who I am. I'm gonna have to own it and love it in some sort of way, and it's okay to be who I am.
You know, at least in my community back home, it was just seen as this shameful thing. You know, there's always those stereotypes of like, oh, you can't like date, or like not date, you can't watch kids because now you're gonna be a child molester, or you know, you can't worship with this community of faith because you're going to hell.
I remember back like freshman year of college when I came out as bisexual, someone was like, oh, that means you can get, like, go shopping together now, and I was like, no, like, I'm still who I am. I just am also like attracted to dudes.
Well, I think like lesbians are often like fetishized, which I think is really kind of upsetting sometimes. Like I've seen different people with like t-shirts with two women kissing, or like, you know, different movies where they show two women kissing or like touching each other, and it's viewed as being like, oh, really sexy. But like if you show two men doing the same thing, then it's like, oh, that's disturbing. So I don't really understand why people perceive lesbians in that sense, and it's kind of irritating in a way. But I feel like with more education and like telling people that that's like, sure, we do kiss each other, but like it's done out of like love, not for your entertainment. Like once people begin to realize that, I feel like the understanding of it would just help to like kind of kill all of that that just comes up.
I mean, obviously, you know, the laws need to change about, you know, gay marriage and gay rights. And I think there definitely, I don't know how to get there necessarily, but I think there needs to be like more acceptance.
I don't think people realize how big of a change is needed. It's not simply just, you know, everyone being fine with, you know, someone being gay or not. It's the whole kind of, you know, not caring about sexuality at all, not caring about heterosexuality, not caring about homosexuality, gender at all, kind of being like blind to that.
There needs to be a demand for inclusive media. That's what I think.
One, more gender neutral bathrooms, not like marketing certain things to boys and certain things to girls, like the boys with the action heroes and like the girls with the princesses and shit. Not that like it's totally okay for those people to like those things, but make it okay for anyone to like a certain thing. And don't force people to gender roles. Don't assign gender at birth. Let the child kind of decide where they fit in the gender spectrum.
I think people just need to realize that it's okay and normal, and I don't know. It should be a good thing. It's a good thing to me. It's something that I love, and I'm okay with it. So, the end.
Okay, came through in the clutch, stomping like I'm up in Louis Vuitton. They wanna pay me like I'm canvas, you just sue me on a hate bottle water, but whatever, I'm pouring heavy on. I'm the kind of drawing cards that just wanna go steady on. Trust my gem, separates the bar, young phenomenon. I make a neo-Nazi kamikaze, wanna firebomb. The bomb ticket, you got your mom's.